I guess we could call this meeting to order
At what time?
at 6:30.
Okay.
Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show that all select board members are here with the exception of Chairman Venziano. And So we'll move right to the consent agenda. AP warrants, number 17, dated 12/26/23, number 18, dated 12/26/23. Payroll registers, number 51, dated 12/21/23, number 52, dated 12/28/23, and number 1, dated 1/4/24.
I'll make a motion to approve the AP and payroll registers.
Second. All in favor? Acceptance of the minutes of the, excuse me, of the select board meeting on December 21st, 23.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the select board meeting on December 21st, 2020.
Second.
Any discussion? No, in favor? Moving to old business. Denise?
Appointment of the tax collector. I talked to Jill about it, and while she's capable of doing it, the timing is not good for her because the lien notices and everything would go out the same time as the budget preparation is going on. So it's not a good fit for her. So I was going to talk to Julie about it today, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'd like to table this until the next meeting.
Everybody okay with that? Okay.
Thank you.
And, excuse me, follow up on Selectmen's concerns from the immediate preceding meeting, if any, and, just.
It was just
the-
the one about setting up a public
Oh,
hearing.
right, yeah. Motion by Ms. Estes.
So I did my
Long voice.
I did my research, and I have the minutes from the meeting of October 16th, where the board discussed how that was going to happen as far as the policing department around. We were supposed to meet with the sheriff, as we did, and then the next process was we were gonna do a public hearing. So the minute states, Ms. Estes doesn't have it. First, let's say, the town manager needs more information to relate to the sheriff.
Okay.
Are there any specific policing concerns that I have? And if so, what are they? My answer to respond to those is Ms. Estes doesn't have any specific concerns to report on. However, during the budget process and the town meeting last year, the select board promised the public the opportunity to ask questions and have a discussion before the next budget session. Mr. Moody stated that we can't make a decision on our own without public input. Mr. Bean asked how best to get the public feedback. The town manager suggested a meeting first with Sheriff Lancaster and then a public hearing before budget preparation and town meeting to allow for the public feedback. The town manager will reach out to Sheriff Lancaster, and which he did, and we don't know.
Okay.
So that's how it was all stated publicly. That's how that was supposed to be handled.
Would you like me to reach out to the sheriff and find out some dates that he would be available for a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
What is going to be different this time than what we had out to East Madison?
So that was a selectmen's meeting. It was not a public hearing meeting.
So the only difference is the wording is public hearing instead of selectmen's meeting?
Well, yes, and then the public has their opportunity to know, because they obviously, how many people come to our selectmen's meeting? Not many.
Thank God.
People, and people don't necessarily keep track of what we're going to be discussing. I mean, that's just a fact of life. I mean, the public hearing, it'll be there. They'll know that this is their opportunity to ask of the sheriff and of the policing, if they have any questions. I would just like to see the whole circle completed. We said that that was gonna happen, we just want it completed. That's how I feel on it.
Well, I don't have a problem with that, I'm
Right.
just curious of how you
I'm
go.
only speaking so
Do
loud right
this.
now because I was told to.
Long voice.
So I'm not angry.
Go ahead, Sean.
Have you ever tried to do the minutes from the video when Kathy's, you can't hear her, so.
Hopefully you can hear me this time.
Long voice, yeah.
I agree, if we have the public meeting and we don't have a big turnout, then that settles it. We've given them their opportunity to
Exactly.
And if we
And
publicize it a little bit more too.
Yep.
A public hearing does usually get publicized more, I mean, a little differently, I guess. a different-
And we need to inform the sheriff that the notes that he brought to us out in East Madison should be the same information that he brings to the people. Because a lot of the people are gonna be surprised of how much money the sheriff's department has saved us over the years. Thousands.
And just be prepared to ask whatever else for questions that the public may have. I mean, I don't know, you know, I have no idea what they're gonna have, but yeah.
So are we looking at late January? You want to do late January, early February?
When do we start talking the budget? When do we
Well,
start-
we started talking the budget today at the office.
You might wanna get a hold of the sheriff and see what he's available, and then.
Right.
And then,
And the sooner the better.
yeah.
That's what I,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I
I'm.
think, yeah, and whenever he's available.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
earliest, okay, yes.
Okay, items of communication.
So you got your highway department report. The road commissioner was gonna be here tonight, but, he was up like 2:30 this morning and, he's got another storm coming up this week that's.
This weekend.
Not this weekend, this week.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah,
And
starting.
then another one this week.
Yeah, right. And the storm that's coming in this time, tomorrow night, is gonna come again with strong winds, a lot of rain,
Yeah.
and heavy wet snow. So, he did say he's trying to manage the guys from too much overtime, but also to make sure that they get enough rest, because if they don't get enough rest, they're not gonna do any good for themselves or the town. They had a couple of, equipment breakdowns on this yesterday, where one of the plow wing arms got broken or something, so they've got some equipment to fix. But other than that, he's doing everything he can to make sure that they're fully staffed. They just hired another seasonal person that's gonna run just the sidewalk cleaner, just the sidewalk machine. He's got his new full-time guy that's all out and ready, so highway's looking good.
Okay. So Denise, his sidewalk person is on board too?
Yes,
Is that, okay?
yep, they started today.
Oh, okay.
Saw something.
I saw somebody on the machine, I was just
Somebody
wondering.
was out
yeah,
yesterday,
that was- yeah.
Well, maybe they started yesterday. I don't
Yeah, maybe.
I know not about my place.
know. His name is Peter something, I don't remember his last name, but.
Okay, the library.
Library report, there's 2 pages. One of them is the December report, one of them is the 2023 report. So Julie is doing a good job keeping everybody informed and well-read.
Yep, good job.
Yep.
CEO.
The CEO report, I have, I asked him to give us more detail than the last couple ones that he gave us, because it was just, he did 3 inspections and 4 this and whatever, and I said, no, give us a little bit more detail. So if it's too much detail for you, let me know and I'll have him back off, but I think it's a good thing to know where his enforcement actions are being, having an impact. There is,
I think he went a little bit overboard.
okay,
Had to take him 3 hours to do that.
okay. There is a violation on 5 Ingle Street that needs to have some enforcement action authorization. So there's been multiple complaints about this particular property from garbage building up, trash, dogs that are not under control, barking at all hours, noise complaints in the middle of the night when they're revving snowmobiles and working on engines and things. So Jeff has asked if we can take it to the next level, which is getting Ken Lexier involved and having him send a letter, because
What?
I don't,
What steps have we proceeded with so far?
what he has done so far is, he sent correspondence, this is going back through September,
You're talking about CEO,
yes.
okay?
Yep, Jeff has sent correspondence in September and October twice. In December, we met with the person, and he's had several phone calls with them in November and January. And she keeps making promises, I'll get it done, and it's not happening.
Okay.
So what he's asking for is, the latest complaint from the neighbors is a structure that was constructed against the fence belonging to the neighbor. So this guy had put up a fence, and these people attached something to that fence.
We have to have 3 walls that way, see?
So numerous requests to remove the structure have been ignored. It's my recommendation, the select board, to head toward the next step and present this through legal matters, which may resolve the problem. He's just looking for authorization.
is that because of the cost? I mean, this isn't something the board has to do because it's part of the procedures, right? I don't know.
I believe all we need to do is tell the town manager, you have a consensus to go ahead and move on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all we need to do.
Okay, because I was just gonna say, I didn't think that.
You don't need to,
We just
no.
need to be notified.
Right, so he says,
That's right.
the ordinance ends with, should the services of the town attorney be required in litigation in a court of law, the CEO shall first review the case with the town manager and the board of selectmen.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're doing, our due diligence.
Okay.
So he's okay to send that? Okay,
So, yeah.
yep, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is that it for the CEO?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Fire department, the chief said something to me today about SCBA equipment,
Yeah,
the breathing apparatuses, right?
yep.
So he's looking to write a grant to get some of that equipment updated, and we're gonna hope to get something through the next budget cycle that includes some extra grant money for him. So I just wanted to throw that out there, in addition to his report.
Sheriff's Department.
I got this today, I haven't had a chance to review it, but it looks like the 417 calls from Madison residents.
Also, I see that the fire department is way ahead on their calls, more than they've ever had.
Oh, yeah, he said it's been a very busy year.
Yeah, well, the calls, he's up to calls now that was all, that matched all of last year. And
Oh, wow.
This year isn't even over. That's from what I read on his,
Yep,
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think he said he had a lot though too, because of that last storm, which if this storm is
Yeah,
anything
that
like
was a
that, that's gonna,
Delicious week
put
for
it-
him, yeah.
yeah.
I have no report from Recreation. They haven't met recently. They're scheduled to meet at the end of January.
Okay. All right, number 2, living well in Madison, I see we have the 2 reports.
Yep, you actually have a third one that Cheyenne put on my desk for the week ending January 7th. So she's doing that in her spare time at night.
We haven't found any prospects for anybody that wants to take that on.
Not yet. And she says she's comfortable hanging on to it for now, so
Mhm.
I don't want her to get underwater, but,
Right.
you know,
No, she's doing
she's,
well.
Mhm.
she's a very independent person.
Mhm.
And so she's not gonna give it up easily.
Okay. Town manager's report on expenses and budget.
So right now, at 27 weeks in the fiscal year, our spending should be at about 52%, and overall, we're at 46%, so we're just a little bit under. And I don't see any really big expenditures coming out in the next month or two. So, with the exception of the road crew and the highway department and snow removal and whatnot.
Okay, number 4, I'll let you
Okay.
explain that.
So, sometime, Ronnie, you may remember this, Jack was on the Board of Selectmen at the time. There was a guy that was hired to do some lawn maintenance at Forest Hill Cemetery, and he took the money and ran.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the case that we are an interested party in. Deutsche Bank sued him for foreclosure. And if there's any money left over after Deutsche Bank gets everything that they have coming to them, there's a possibility we may get something. It's not likely, but there's an extra page that I handed out to you that shows the total due as of December 29th, 23 from him to the town would be $5,500. So,
I would say by looking at the list of folks that are in line before us, there's probably not going to be much left over.
No, it's way at the top of the list.
There's a big list. So, okay.
yep.
Thank you. Okay, so emergency management, new business, emergency management agency.
So, Mike Smith from the county had us fill out an assessment form, and it was like the week after the storm, so we plugged some numbers in, and then in addition to these numbers, the 122,000, Marty Berry from MEW has also added another close to 25,000 for equipment, supplies, manpower. So this is our estimated damage assessment that is money out of our pocket for that particular storm.
Any questions or Okay, number 2, ACO compensation question.
The ACO that we have now is, we share her with the town of Solon, and the town of Solon pays her by stipend. I've got to get the details to find out exactly how much, but she's asking the town of Madison to also pay by stipend instead of hourly, and I'm okay with that, even in light of Dwayne Holmes' case, you know, paying in advance and everything. But I think if we do it, I'd like to split it up into 2 payments. And if we go for $3,000 or $4,000 for the full year stipend, it would cover at the, what did I say, $17 an hour? It would be about 235 hours worth of animal control.
How would you want to do that? Quarterly?
Quarterly or semi-annually, either one. But and she's proven to be very good and very effective. So
I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've got a good handle on it. We're aware, I'm aware of it, so whatever works for you as far as my concern.
Okay.
So how much do we have budgeted for the ACO?
The ACO budget was originally, I think it was like 6,500, 6,950. And right now, we have an unexpended balance of 5,300.
But that includes but that includes mileage reimbursement too,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
So if you pay a stipend, is that just plain a stipend and that's it, or is it?
I would-
mileage too? Yeah,
Well-
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to work out those details with her and find out what she expects by doing that. Because I think it, stipend should not include mileage.
Right.
But I think your best bet is to get a hold of the town of Seoul and seeing how they're dealing with it. And then it doesn't become one town giving more than the other town, and then that person's going back and forth, well, I get more here, you know. I
Yep.
think it should be compatible so that it works for both towns.
Okay,
You had also mentioned earlier today that there's a lot more action down for her than there is in Solomon.
yeah,
Yeah.
there really is.
Yeah.
There's probably twice as much,
Oh, I'm sure.
so, mileage in stipend or not, okay. I will find out and I'll bring it back to,
Might even want to look at quarterly too, depending on how Solomon does it.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, I don't object to
No.
having a stipend or whatever, as long as we don't go over our budget line.
Okay.
That's all, you know, so.
okay,
We have one, that's a good one.
yeah. And she's doing a great
I
job.
was just gonna say, work with her and just kind of what she wants, and as long as it doesn't go over our budget line, I mean, I'm comfortable with that.
Number 3, proposed vendor code of conduct.
Okay. Oh, there it is, sorry. I lost my head for a second. I gave you an extra page of our employee conduct, Appendix 1 employee conduct from our personnel policy. And the majority of the language that's taken here, the specific prohibited conduct, comes from the employee policy. But knowing that this is a vendor as opposed to an employee contract, code of conduct, we have to have some demarcation, because if we start telling the vendor exactly what to do, when to do, how to do it, they're no longer a vendor, they're an employee. And we need to make sure that we honor the vendor relationship. However, we want to make sure that those vendors are not backstabbing us and bad-mouthing us and everything else, drinking on the job and, putting us at liability or anything like that.
They still wouldn't fall under our code of ethics.
No, there's nothing in our policies that say that the vendor has to be responsible to any of our internal policies.
Okay, we've never had this in the past. What brought this to light?
When I put out the RFP for the structural engineering
Yeah,
study,
yeah.
I was looking at it, and I was looking at some various other RFPs, and some of them have references to vendor conduct. So
Okay.
when I couldn't find anything in our policies,
Yeah.
that's when I thought we ought to have something.
Okay. All right, so I was just curious, because somebody's gonna say, well, where'd this come from?
Yep. And I know that Chairman Venziano has some concerns about it, so I just want to bring it up tonight and we can table it and have a discussion, a further discussion when he's available.
Sounds good.
Do you want me to run this by the town attorney?
We were talking about that this morning, Denise and I. Should we run it by Ken to see if there's anything in there that we should be?
And I think anything we're putting a
Yeah.
somewhat of a guideline, restrictions or whatever on anybody, that's CYA.
I can see why the RFP references it though too.
Yeah.
So, but,
Should we wait and see,
See what
wait
Al
until,
says.
wait until Al comes and we talk about it as a group before we go to the attorney, or? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe get Ken's
I'm
input.
just-
As far as the attorney goes, at least you're gonna get the information sooner or later.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
If you get the information now, then you don't have to wait until you tell Al that you're gonna give this information to the attorney, it's gonna make a difference.
We'll have it.
Well,
You'll have
before
the
you-
information to either yay or nay, or change or not change. You know, it just speeds up the process.
And you're not making any decision on
No.
doing it or not doing it right now.
That's right. That's right, but you found this in working with these other people, Denise, that it wasn't working?
No, it's not that it wasn't working, it's there was nothing that protected the town against a vendor's conduct or misconduct, except if it's a criminal activity or something. So this is just
So
an
we
extra
haven't-
layer of protection.
We haven't had a situation yet,
Not that I know of.
that we know, okay. All right. How many vendors do we have that this would impact?
We have quite a few vendors.
It would, well, it would impact all of them, because it would be something that we would require all the vendors to adhere to and sign on to. So the coffee guy, the recycle guy, whoever we have a contract with,
Okay. All right.
to be
part of the
consistent.
contract.
It would be part of the contract going forward. So once we renew the contract,
So if this goes into effect, this is going to impact a number of people,
yes,
quite a number of people.
whoever the town has a contract with.
Okay, when we come back to this, can we have some numbers and who this would impact?
Sure.
Because there have to be some feedback questions about this, and I'd like to have the answer so we can answer it.
Okay,
Okay, so we're gonna
Good question.
get that information and bring it back next time?
yep.
Okay. All right, that takes care of that. Letter H, the citizens' concern.
Okay, hang on, let me.
Oh, I see Randy over
Hang
here.
on, I'm coming. Go ahead.
Are we all set? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
All right. I guess my concern is how do we get it on the record or how people can get their concerns addressed here without having to attend or if they can't attend. So I'd like to just see how we can manage that somehow. Whether it's able to address it tonight or maybe bring it back for next time.
Do what?
I don't understand what you're
All right.
asking, Randy.
Let me see if I can
Oh, okay,
recap.
sorry.
If somebody has a concern, but they don't want to come to the meeting, how do they bring up that concern? And how do they get it addressed?
Mr. Moody?
Did I say that right?
Yep.
Got thumbs up.
I think if anybody's got a concern and it's that important to them, they should come and see us and present that to us so that we can face them and answer whatever questions or concerns that they have. I don't know how else to do it. I'm not a media person to take a concern from a picture on a TV set or something. I think if the concern is important enough to the individual, they're to come here and bring it to us and we'll answer it. This is where it's always been in the past.
But we
I don't
can
know any other
also,
way.
we can also do it through Zoom.
Right.
Right.
If they come on there, if they
If they attend through Zoom.
if they attend to Zoom.
How else do you do it?
there's no
Right.
other way.
Well,
There's no other way to get us all together to, no.
You looking for a more anonymous way to do it?
Go ahead, Randy.
Mainly it's those who are working. They cannot attend the meeting if they're working.
At 6:30?
There's people who
Well, no,
work
I know.
second shifts.
No, I totally get that, but, I mean, I don't know.
The board can only, you can only gather when we have a actual meeting. We're not allowed to gather and talk about something unless we're having a physical meeting, so I guess I don't understand any other way.
What-
We're kind of limited.
What if they emailed the town manager?
Well, they,
I think you could bring it forward.
you know, bring
we
it
could do
forward to
that.
us, we
Right.
just wouldn't have the
The
feedback.
give and
but
take.
You're not
Right.
gonna get the discussion
Right.
going that way.
We would hear it, but,
I
yeah.
think,
We're certainly more than willing to listen anyways, if you do that, but I really prefer the give and take.
it ain't gonna
Myself,
work.
but-
It's not
well,
gonna, no.
It's not gonna
because-
work.
Because we're gonna have questions, and we're not gonna have somebody right there to
You
answer.
know,
Yep.
we've had this system for a long time, and it's worked very well so far, and to me, if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Randy?
We'll think about it a little bit more and see those who have that concern, what they might come up with. See if they can come up with a solution.
Okay. Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, select board concerns, Mr. Moody,
None, man.
Mr. Bean,
I'm good.
and Ms. Estes,
What's that?
and so on. Okay, so we need to adjourn, motion to adjourn this meeting and go into executive session.
No, we don't.
No
have-
executive
we-
session.
We need, no executive session.
No executive
Oh,
Okay.
no?
All
Oh,
right,
well there, so much for that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Wow.